Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Monday evening to you all. Hope you guys are doing well out there tonight and having yourselves a great start to your work week and had yourselves an awesome Monday out there. Got you a big update tonight, and this will really be the last really long, detailed video ahead of the storm, since it's going to be cranking up tonight. But by the time we get to this time tomorrow night, the storm will already be ongoing. There'll be severe weather ongoing, heavy snow falling in certain areas of the south central U.S. So this is kind of the last really long, detailed video ahead of this storm. So we're going to try to figure it out for you guys one last time here. And then certainly stay tuned to some of those great YouTubers that go live during these extreme events. And the severe weather threat, guys, is really uptrended. So we're really going to talk about that towards the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But you certainly, if you have a way to get alerts or just a way to stay tuned to these awesome people who go live, like Ryan Hall, there's a lot of great people out there. Certainly do so. They do a great job. But we're going to do our part here at Mitch West Weather and try to figure it out. Really talk a lot on the snow like we've been doing, and then talk on the severe weather and try to get this figured out for you guys. If you folks have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it, and I really want to quickly just tell y'all how much I appreciate the growth of the channel over the last week or so. I picked up a lot of subscribers. I know a lot of them are from just new areas, and it really means a lot that people are just trusting what I'm saying or just listening to what I'm saying from somebody way over here in central South Carolina talking about a winter storm way out west into the central U.S. and areas of the Ohio Valley. So I appreciate that. Just listening to a southern boy talk about winter weather thousands of miles away from his house. But have a true passion for winter weather, so I love talking about it. But thank you all for supporting me in that way. I'm got a new high of people who have joined my channel. I'm up to 23 members, so thank you all for joining my channel. If you ever consider doing that, it's a great way to support what I do monthly. And thank you for everybody who's done that, and just thank you all for tuning in also. It's not anything against people who haven't joined. I really appreciate everybody who's made my videos part of the routine. It means the world. And more importantly, if you folks got anything that I can pray about or pray over, please put those in the comments so I can pray over them and others can do so too. And we're certainly praying for you folks in the South being affected by severe weather tomorrow. And I really think for certain areas, it could really develop into an ugly situation. We'll talk about that here. But what's going on? You see this spin right here? This is the origins of our system about to move through. It's going to bring all this dynamic weather across portions of the country, even areas that don't see severe weather and snow. It's going to see a lot of rain. And it doesn't look like much, but this is the beginning of it. And the reason you're not seeing much is this higher elevation. But by the time we look at this tomorrow evening, it's going to look large on your screen, if you will. But here it is. Snow is going to begin to enter into western Texas probably later tonight. It will enter later tonight. The last little bit of our system's moving off the southern New England and the northeast coastline. You guys picked up several inches of snow even into Boston, especially west of Boston throughout the afternoon, evening hours where it was snowing like crazy. I saw. But watches and warnings on what's going on right now. As of right now, you now have winter storm warnings up for Amarillo. It's getting really close to Wichita Falls, but you got just winter weather advisories for these sections. Oklahoma City, the winter storm warnings are just south, so you're not quite there, but I would not be surprised if areas like, Oklahoma City gets upgraded to a warning. We'll certainly have to watch these. The mountains of western Arkansas, I think it's called the Wichita Mountains, the Ouachita Mountains. I'm not going to try to get crazy with the pronunciation or anything, guys, but there's the Boston Mountains, the Ozarks. I'm very familiar with the Ozarks. I think if anybody's familiar with any mountains in in Arkansas, it's certainly the Ozarks. But basically all the hills and mountainous regions of northwest Arkansas and western Arkansas is going to get hit by heavy, heavy snow. Eastern Oklahoma also, well, there is some hills in this region too. And then southern Missouri hit hard. Winter storm warnings up. Looks like these expand all the way up to close to St. Louis. And then southwest Illinois, winter storm warnings. Which you got winter storm watches for areas like Indianapolis, but I can almost guarantee you will get upgraded to a warning. So, guys, I want to tell you right off the dot, if please tell me if I, say a town or city or anything like that. Hopefully in about a year's time from today, I will know a lot more towns and city names and more geographical areas in each state so I can say it fluently and then run through all these towns and states a lot better for you guys in the future. That is a big goal of mine for sure. I know the Southeast like the back of my hand pretty much, but once you get outside the Southeast, it's a learning. I'm learning definitely. But big storm for all these areas. And you see all these areas down here in the brown areas, like the yellow, kind of the mustard color down here. These are just a bunch of wind alerts, wind advisories. where a stout low-level jet will get cranked up with this low pressure. And even if you're not being affected by any storms, it's going to be an extremely windy situation tomorrow and then into tomorrow night. This is a powerful dynamic storm, guys. It really is. Let's see if we got the 18Z Euro right here. We do, and let's see how far out it goes. And it goes out far enough. So we're going to actually look at the 18Z Euro. It's starting off. We're going to start this off. This is your time stamp to look at over here. Back this up an hour if you're in Central Time, because this is showing up in Eastern Time. So 3 a.m. out here in Texas, the snow begins to move into Western Texas. We get into 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's starting to snow in Amarillo all the way down to Midland, just about Lubbock, Texas, Abilene, Texas, Wichita Falls is starting to snow. It's going to be very close for Dallas, but I think Dallas is 95% of the storm's going to stay rain. But there's going to be a chance for Dallas tomorrow p.m. that this could switch to a period of snow. We're going to see what's going to happen with that. That's kind of going to be a now thing where we're going to have to just kind of watch radar trends and see if it happens. But we'll kind of run through this fairly quickly because we've showed it many times, and I can tell you it hasn't changed much. About midday Tuesday, snow begins to move into Oklahoma City, even Tulsa, even areas where you're seeing green here. Yeah, it might start off with a little bit of rain, but it'll quickly, as precipitation really begins to increase and come down big time, it's going to switch to probably snow. It will switch to snow. You don't have to go very far north of Dallas to see snow. You really don't. Just a few counties north, and I think you'll get into some accumulating snow. In fact, there's winter weather advisories west and northwest of Dallas-Fort Worth, where there could be anywhere from less than 1 inch to 3 inches of snow, which is a pretty solid range. It really is. But like I said, right here near Wichita Falls, this area of southwest Oklahoma right into here is going to get hit hard by some big-time banding of heavy snow. I think somebody can get over a half a foot of snow here. I really think it's possible. We'll take it into Tuesday evening. At this point, it's around dinner time, snowing really hard south of Oklahoma City into the hills right here in eastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas, starting to snow like crazy in the Ozarks, Boston Mountains, snow heavily moving into southern areas of Missouri as we're getting into about 9 p.m. At this point, the sun is down and it is absolutely unloading snow, guys. I'm going to take a look at some soundings here in a second. I told you we would do that. But areas of southeast Oklahoma, southeast of Oklahoma City and Tulsa, really, really snowing hard. Someone's going to jackpot and likely get a foot. And in fact, the National Weather Service, and we'll zone in on this in a second, is now calling, I believe, for 10 to 12 inches of snow in parts of the Ozarks. So low pressure right here. A lot of severe weather ongoing in Louisiana at this point, but we'll talk about that in a different panel. We'll keep this going. We'll go on and switch it to the Ohio Valley right here. And here it is. The snow is beginning. It's already snowing in St. Louis in the middle of the night tomorrow night. This is around getting into 12 a.m., 1 a.m., snowing very heavily. And this is the wild card right into here. Northern and northwest sections of Kentucky. How heavy does the snow start off? We're right here. It's about 3 a.m. in the morning. Snow's starting to overspread into the Ohio Valley. Is it snowing really heavily for areas like Evansville, Indiana, places like that, southern Illinois? I think it will be. If you want to see some really heavy snow, if you're like in sections of southern Indiana, southern Illinois, wake up early tomorrow morning. I'm talking about in the wee hours of the morning. I think that's when you're going to get your heavy accumulating snow into Wednesday morning, and this really starts to come down in sections of Indianapolis, even as far north as central Illinois. If you're wondering about Chicago, I think you're going to get a period of accumulating snow sometime Wednesday morning. I don't think you're going to get the brunt of the storm by any means, but at this point, you'll stop it. It's around 9 a.m. Wednesday morning. All three of the main states in the Ohio Valley, everybody seeing pretty heavy snow, moderate to heavy snow. And I'm going to show you what I mean by how heavy it's going to snow. I think you can get 1 to 2 inch per hour snow rates. I really do. Icing situation developing in these sections. And one thing I have not really pulled up, and I'll do it tomorrow night because we'll still be ahead of the storm in these areas tomorrow night, is the icing right here in the CAD regions, the cold air damming regions of the central Appalachian Mountains. But, we stopped this here and it's snowing very heavily. Snow all the way up to Detroit. Northern sections of Ohio, moderate snow falling at this point in Cleveland. Snow makes it to the far southern counties of Michigan. I'm sorry, I don't know every town and city, guys, but Indianapolis, there is going to be an area and central Indiana in general that's going to get absolutely nuked by snow. I really do think they are. I'm talking well over a half a foot of snow. Somebody might get 10 inches of snow. I really think it's possible. Wherever this low pressure sets up, and I'm not going to go over the GFS and the European and compare them. We're done doing that. In general, we're just showing what's going to happen. But I think if you're in Cincinnati, it starts off as a front-end thump of snow. But I think by the time you get into after lunchtime in Cincinnati, it could certainly switch to some rain. And then I think it could potentially flip back to snow. But the latest Euro keeps Cleveland just about all snow the entire duration of the event. We'll back it up so we can see what's going to happen in the Northeast. And we'll switch it here. What about that front-end thump of snow I was talking about for New York City? Well, you stop it right here. It is trending a little bit north. So sorry to leave you guys astray, but I still think it could start out by some heavy wet snow in New York City sometime to Wednesday afternoon. I really do, especially north of town into Connecticut and Rhode Island. I think that along the I-95 corridor also, I think it could really snow very hard just after lunchtime in these sections of southern New England and even New York City and Long Island and northern New Jersey. Yes, I said New Jersey. Northern New Jersey, especially north and northwest of New York City and west of New York City. I think somebody can get, 5 to 7, 8 inches of snow. I think it's possible. I really do. I mean, literally mere 10 to 20 miles north of the actual city of New York City makes a huge difference, guys. But, you back it up here, and this snow begins to move as early as Wednesday morning into Pittsburgh. I think you get thumped really good with some heavy snow right at the beginning. But I do think you'll switch to rain by the time you get into Wednesday afternoon and evening for Pittsburgh. A wintry mess for State College Wednesday evening, and now we have the entire duration of the storm showing up for the Northeast. And you stop it here. This is about 9 p.m. Wednesday. I mean, it is where some areas are seeing some freezing rain, some sleet, but where it's snowing, guys, I mean, I'm talking 2 to 3 inch per hour rates. Snow really heavily overnight into Wednesday night and to Thursday morning. I really think this is when it really picks up for Maine. And by the way, I've seen a ton of comments from Maine and New Hampshire and Vermont, especially Maine. I really appreciate that. It's awesome having people from the Northeast watch somebody from the South. It really means the world, and that's the goal here, is to expand this. So thank y'all. I want to just say thank y'all for you folks up there and everybody. But I really think, for example, this is about 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, Thursday morning. It is ripping big time. I'm talking heavy, wet snow for almost all of Maine. And this moves through and might turn in some back-end ice, and then this moves through, and then I think back-end snow for everybody. So that's the duration of the event. I want to show you guys the HRRR model and watch how it unfolds, because we're almost through the entire duration of the storm with the HRRR model. Not quite, but we're close. Latest long-range model, here we go. Let's start out Tuesday morning. Tomorrow morning, we can say now, Amarillo, moderate to heavy snow falling. This begins to switch to snow as far south as north central Texas. Look at these storms. I think we're going to have numerous reports of thunder snow, in my opinion. When you have dynamics like this, you are going to have some flashes of lightning, and you're going to hear some booms of thunder out here. But snow begins to move into Oklahoma City as early as around midday tomorrow, give or take some hours. It's never going to be a set in stone thing. And as this moves through, I know you see a lot of green in here, but this is going to be snow, guys. It's going to be a heavy, wet snow. And I know your eyes are peeled immediately to all this vibrant colors down here to showing the severe weather. Excuse me, I had the hiccups there. But I'm going to talk about this here in a second. But listen, I'm going to stop this around right here. We're going to take a look at a sounding right here in the mountains and in the hills of northwest Arkansas. And granted, Little Rock's right here. You're getting heavy rain, but I think you will switch to a period of snow. And then if you stop it right here, there's some mix going on as far south as Dallas-Fort Worth sometime around 8, 9 p.m. tomorrow. Maybe a couple hours earlier. But I'll take a sounding right here. Let's just take it right here near Jonesboro, Arkansas. I believe that's where the city of Jonesboro is, right here in northeast Arkansas. Let's take a sounding right here. And I know this is hard to explain. First off, this is the surface down here. It's 33 degrees at the surface. You're thinking, Mitch, that's not very cold. You see these DGZs over here? Just think of that. The higher this is, basically the more the most intense the precipitation is coming down. So you look at this and you see these DGZs and how high they are. That means it is absolutely unloading. So you see the 0 degrees Celsius line. 0 degrees Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So this goes up in the upper levels of the atmosphere. And this, you see the green line, that's dew points. You notice how the dew points, once you get in about the mid-levels of the atmosphere, which is still several thousand feet up in the air. They begin to ride up against the temperature, which is in the red. That tells us that the column, which is all of what's going on aloft, is fully saturated, which means, first off, the temperature above the surface immediately, once you go a couple thousand feet up, immediately goes below 32 degrees. So that means it's snowing. And there is a little warm nose, but that warm nose right here, several thousand feet up in the air, in kind of the low to mid levels, it does not go above 32 degrees. So what does that mean? These snowflakes stay snowflakes. And then it goes 1 degree above freezing, but it does that at such low levels that those snowflakes don't have any time to melt into rain or sleet or whatever. So in general, fully saturated column, meaning there's no dry air in the atmosphere unless you go like 20, 30, 40,000 feet up in the air, which means every bit of this precipitation is making it to the surface, and all of it, because it's 32 degrees aloft, is falling as heavy, wet snow. So that means you're going to have snowflakes well over the size of $50. I mean, huge snowflakes falling here and rapid accumulation. So this continues, and this is what we call a deformation band, which is a lift frontogenesis band, which is caused by just an intense area of moisture aloft and just intense dynamics in general. And this will continue. We'll go on and switch it to the north central U.S., which I love Tropical Tidbits because it's free, but it doesn't do a great job of really showing this. But we'll take it down here. We'll take it all the way out to Wednesday morning and look at this intense banding right here. Same thing with areas of Indiana. We'll take a look at the sounding, and it's ripping at about 32 degrees. I'm absolutely unloading snow Wednesday morning for this area. Same thing. There's a little bit more dry air aloft, but still towards the surface, column is fully saturated, absolutely ripping. So what does that mean? I know you're thinking, well, that doesn't mean much to me. I don't understand what you're talking about. Well, I think you'll understand this a little bit better. So this is snowfall rates per hour. So this says, hey, with the HRRR model, how much snow can you potentially get in an hour with some of this banding? Well, first off, you look right here, and this sections of southwest Oklahoma and northern sections of Texas, 1 to 2 inch per hour rates are falling with this snow moving in. We start to get into about midday Tuesday, tomorrow, and look at this snowfall. Let's go on and move it up a little bit. Look at the snowfall. Oklahoma City right in here, just south of Oklahoma City, 1 to 2 inch per hour rates tomorrow afternoon. Now watch what happens. As this gets into the hills and the mountains of Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma, widespread 1 to 2 inch per hour rates. Imagine getting 2 inches of snow in an hour. I've seen it. It's pretty darn impressive. Okay, but even down here, I mean, back in Oklahoma, 1 inch per hour rates, that's impressive on its own. Okay, you go on and move it up to, let's take it down. Let's take it up to Missouri, which also shows sections of northern Arkansas. And here it comes. Here comes these impressive snowfall rates. And it picks up on this right here. And in fact, let's go on and just look at Kentucky here and things like that. And not to skip over you folks in Missouri. I think it's going to snow like crazy. But what I really want to show you is there's a lot of people wondering here in northern Kentucky, the predicted snowfall isn't very high. But keep in mind, this front end portion of this storm overnight Tuesday night into the wee hours in the morning Wednesday morning can really overachieve your forecast. Look at these snowfall rates moving near Evansville, near Cincinnati, Paducah, Kentucky. There's going to be a period of heavy wet snow that could drop 1 to 2 inch per hour rates for about a 1 to 2 hour period. So suddenly you get 3 to 4 inches of snow in this area, and this continues. And then the rates kind of subside somewhat. But look in southern Ohio as you're getting into 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, absolutely unloading. And you keep this going, and this is a much better view. I don't know why I didn't have this pulled up before, but we'll take it all the way out to about Wednesday morning. Indianapolis sitting right here, and then south central Indiana, 1 to 2, 3 inch per hour rates. Same thing for Columbus, Dayton, Cincinnati, pretty much 1, maybe as much as 2 inch per hour rates moving in. And then we move into, let's see, the northeast over here, and we'll switch it to 18Z right here, see what's going on. And same thing, this is going to move, and I only can get this out to about Wednesday morning, but this is some intense snowfall rates in Pennsylvania, eastern Ohio, and then it takes it even into New York City, where you got a half inch to close to 3/4 of an inch per hour for about an hour to an hour and a half period, sometime around midday Wednesday, that could swing through and maybe break y'all's snowless streak in New York City. So that's that. So in a nutshell, I'm telling you guys, it's going to snow very hard. It's not one of these light snow, very small flakes. It's snowing in like the low 20s and teens. It's going to be snowing like crazy in the upper 20s and low to mid 30s. So look how much they bumped up the snowfall forecast for Amarillo. Now you're thinking about 5 to 6 inches of snow just south of town, maybe 7 to 8. We're going to zone into every single region here. We're going to kind of do this on the fly here. Oklahoma City, 3 to 4 inches of snow. Tulsa, maybe 2 to 3. South of town, widespread 4 to 6 inches of snow. There's going to be somebody in southwest Oklahoma, and this section of Texas is going to get more, probably over a half a foot of snow. Dallas-Fort Worth, just north of town, potentially some accumulating snow, but in and around the area, I think you could end with some back-end snow sometime Tuesday evening, but we'll switch it. Look for Arkansas. You see these areas in pink. That is 10 to 12, maybe as much as 14 inches of snow in the Ozarks. The Wichitas. Hopefully I said that right. Correct me if I do. I do apologize if I mispronounced it. I really think somebody's going to get probably 6 to 8 inches of snow. Not going to be widespread, but a lot of snow. Southern Missouri, guys. There's going to be an area right here in southern and south central areas of Arkansas that's likely going to get widespread 8 to 12 inch snowfall totals. I told you a few days ago that this would uptrend leading up to the event. And, I'm not tooting my own horn, guys. I don't do that. I'm a pretty humble guy. But in general, that's what's happened. We'll go on and switch it up here. A little closer look at Missouri. St. Louis, this could fall as more snow, but for now, 4 to 5 inches of snow is possible. And then we'll look at the Ohio Valley. There's going to be a swath of heavy snow in central and south central areas of Illinois, but I think more snow could fall down here. They've already upped the totals in these areas that I was questioning, remember? And I think areas near Paducah, Kentucky could get snow that's not forecasting any, okay? I think areas in northern Kentucky could see a few inches of snow that's not really forecasting any. But look in Indianapolis, 7 to 8 inches of snow, north central Indiana. But south central Indiana, right in this area, could just as well get more snow than north central Indiana. Not a huge area, but, they're now predicting 3 to 4 inches of snow in Cincinnati. Dayton, a little bit higher, a couple inches more. Columbus, 3 to 4 inches of snow. Cleveland, I think you guys could see more than this. I think it's a possibility. Detroit, 7 to 8 inches of snow. I'm going to take a look at another model guidance for this. This is the European mean for this area. I forgot it does that. I should have known. But that stinks. Okay, let's do this. Let's kind of do this on the fly. Let's look at just what the operational model is showing for Indiana right here. And this is what the latest operational one is showing. Shows the idea down here of more snow. Right, this gets very close to Paducah, brings a little bit more heavier snow into southeast Missouri, and then more snow into northern areas of Kentucky. But, moving forward here too, and then we get into Pennsylvania, guys. This will be a widespread winter storm for Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania can mix with some snow, but the hills certainly down here in southern Pennsylvania, all these hills right here, some of these higher elevations, western Maryland, depending on, it's all going to be elevation driven, especially down here. I think the mountains of West Virginia, especially those higher elevations, could certainly pick up a lot more snow. We'll take a look at New York State, guys. And this is potentially what you guys could see. The upstate of New York is going to get hammered again. And then the rich just keep on getting richer here with snowfall in New Hampshire, Vermont. We'll take it up to Maine for you folks. And, if not to, ignore you folks in the Massachusetts area. Let's go on and jump back down there really fast. But Massachusetts could certainly see 3, 4, 5 inches of snow, depending on where you are. Okay, listen to your local people. There's some higher elevations right here in Western Mass, Boston. Listen, Connecticut, these areas could get more snow. Depends on what that front end thump of snow does. You're going to switch to rain. It's inevitable. But, the interior New York City, maybe a half an inch of snow from this front. I really think that you'll pick up accumulating snow, measurable snow in New York City. I really do think you will. So Maine, not to skip out on you, but here's what it looks like for Maine all the way through Thursday evening, which I still think it's snowing in parts of Maine, but Caribou, this is going to be a big one for you guys, probably 1.5 feet of snow, and then a lot of snow down here in the downeast areas and then the southern areas of Maine and New Hampshire and Vermont. Big snowfall for you guys, okay? So that's it with the winter storm. Let's talk about severe weather. First off, I want to say I'm not going to go over all the dynamics with you guys. There's so many things we know. We know there's going to be a 75, 85 knot low-level jet. That is extreme. In fact, in the National Weather Service discussion, they said that's beyond bonkers. That was a joke today in the weather world, but it's really not a joke because everything supports a high-end severe weather threat with this. The only thing that's lacking is what we call thermodynamics. Really, that is the only thing that's lacking. Really, fuel for these thunderstorms. These Cape values are not going to be very high. If you spike these Cape values with this, this would be a tornado outbreak, and it still likely is going to be it could be a smaller scale tornado outbreak, just geographically speaking. But right now, a new area and enhanced risk introduced south of Houston. Okay, this is new today. And then you still got the enhanced region, which includes those same areas that we talked about. You know, southern sections of Alabama, the western panhandle of Florida, Mississippi, southern sections of Louisiana, and then this new area in Texas. So this is a big deal tornado threat, guys. You have a 10% risk in these enhanced areas to not just see a tornado, but a significant tornado within 24 miles and even 25 miles in any given location. 24 miles is kind of exact. Stronger tornado means EF2 or higher. So please, please, please have a way to get alerts in these regions today. Have a reliable radar. Make sure your phone is receiving alerts. Do what you got to do down here, guys, because this is going to be, I think this is going to be a big deal. Wind threat, also a 30% risk to see damaging winds. It's going to be windy. Crazy winds with this system, even outside of the storms, guys. And then you're going to have a hail threat in these regions too. I'm not going to go all the way up, but there's going to be a hail threat too. So let's just talk about what this looks like. So to show you how truly dynamic this system is, it's snowing up here, and then you got severe storms developing in South Texas. We'll stop it right here. You have the potential for a tornado outbreak ongoing down here. You see these little kidney bean looks right into here? Tornado outbreak could be ongoing in southeast Texas with a snowstorm in northern sections of Texas. That tells you how freaking wild and dynamic this is. So we'll stop this here. This is around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Severe storms ongoing in Houston. All of them can be tornadic. The dynamics down here is going to support tornadoes. Low-level jet, 75, 85 knots. Mid-level jet, over 100 knots. Turning, veering with height, meaning you're going to have the spin in the atmosphere to turn these updrafts and ultimately produce tornadoes. And then there's going to be a tornado threat along this line of storms and any cells that develop ahead of this in this sector down here. Okay, this is going to continue to move into Louisiana. Then we'll switch it to the deep south, guys. And I know I don't have these dew points and the low-level jet and the Cape values and the significant tornado parameter pulled up, but in a nutshell, I'm telling you, the area that the Storm Prediction Center has highlighted, that's the concern. It's that cut and dry. Same kind of thing. Look at the dynamics with this. You got tornadic storms entering southern, watch out, Lake Charles, all the way to Baton Rouge. But we'll stop this. This is around 6 p.m. Central Time. The sun is setting, okay? And the tornado threat, the severe weather outbreak is still ongoing. And it's going to continue to be ongoing throughout the overnight hours. You stop this right here, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, nasty storms knock on your doorstep. You see these storms out ahead of this? This is around 9, 10 p.m. The storms are knocking on the door of Louisiana, of southeast Louisiana, if they haven't already. Heavy rain up here in areas of northern Mississippi and Alabama. We keep this rolling here. And I mean, this is the middle of the night, around midnight for Central Time out here. Still, all these storms could be producing damaging winds and tornadoes and even some hail. And this continues through all the way out. I mean, even stop it right here, guys. And this is when it could get scary. I mean, listen, this is about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Look at this intense line of storms, even in southern Alabama, entering the western panhandle of Florida, guys. You guys are going to get woke up. That's why tomorrow night is just going to be a night where you're going to want to have some alarms set. Okay, figure out really where the storms are going to hit your exact area, and really that's when you need to really hone in on. But look, I mean, it's snowing in Little Rock and potential tornadic storms down here in southern Louisiana. Okay, so it's just a very dynamic storm, and these potentially rotating storms will be going and cruising right through the panhandle of Florida and they'll even have some spin to them probably in southwest Georgia. So that's it, guys. We'll have you another update in the morning. Be prepared. Whether you're on the winter side or the severe side, this is definitely the most potent storm we've seen of 2023 so far. So that's all I got. God bless all y'all. Thank y'all for the support. Stay safe out there, and I'll talk to you in the morning.